Good evening to everyone. My name is Keshav Singh with my group members Surendra Pal Singh and Ranjita. Today we will be presenting SAP Lumira story on the topic Indigenous prisoners in Australia. Australia is following US footsteps in becoming a nation of captives. It's a little known but alarming fact that the number of prisoners in Australia is at a record high. The current imprisonment rate as of 2014 is 186 per 100,000 people, which increased more than twice as compared to two decades ago. Our story will analyze number of total prisoners and indigenous prisoners in Australia. We will be analyzing top offences by the prisoners and comparison among them. We will also be analyzing two main reasons due to which the number of prisoners is increasing every year, and finally providing recommendations to improve it. Our aim is to find answers to certain questions such as which state has highest number of indigenous prisoners, etc. The first visualization represent number of prisoners state-wise, thus showing states and territories with highest and low number of prisoners. New South Wales has maximum number of prisoners, which is 10,566 in 2014, followed by Queensland and Victoria. The least number of prisoners are in Australian Capital Territory, which is followed by Tasmania. Next visualization shows number of indigenous prisoners in Australia, showing same states with highest and least numbers, that is New South Wales being highest and Australian Capital Territory with least. The next visualization we can see the trend of past 5 years. The number of indigenous and total prisoners are increasing over the past 5 years. In year 2013 and 14, the number of prisoners increased rapidly. The next visualization will be discussed by Surendra.
Thanks, Keshav. The next visualization represents the major offences by indigenous people in the year 2014. Act intended to cause injury has the highest number of the prisoners, that is 4,484, followed by unlawful entry with intent, which was the 3,073. And the sexual assault related offences has the third highest number of prisoners, followed by drug, robbery, extortion related offences, and finally homicide related offences. The main two reasons due to which indigenous people commit these offences are low income, and the other is low educational qualification. The next visualization shows the trend of these major offences from year 2014. As we can see, most of the offences increased over the years with slight fluctuation except act intended to cause injury, which increased rapidly from the year 2011 to 2014. The next visualization demonstrates the education level of indigenous people in the year 2014. 5,207 indigenous people did not go to school in the year 2014, whereas 93,484 indigenous people completed year 10 or equivalent. The higher education level year 12 or equivalent completed by only 81,557, which is only secondary level. According to the data collected, very few indigenous opt for higher studies, that is graduate or postgraduate level. The next visualization would be discussed by Ranjita.
Thank you, Surendra. As discussed in previous visualizations, the number of indigenous prisoners increased due to the low income and poor education standards. This visualization is a comparison between indigenous and non-indigenous group of people based on their education level calculated in percentage. The highest level of education attained by indigenous group of people is year 10 or equivalent, whereas in case of non-indigenous it's year 12 or equivalent. Although the population of non-indigenous people as compared to indigenous people is much higher, but percentage of indigenous individuals not going to school is higher than non-indigenous individuals. In next visualization, we are analyzing income of indigenous individuals on weekly basis. It shows 75,959 individuals have income between $300 to $399 per week, whereas 3,243 have negative income and 5,945 have nil income per week. From this visualization, we can say that the average income of an indigenous individual is really very low. From the story till now, we can say that number of indigenous prisoners are increasing at very fast rate. In order to reduce or slow down the rate, certain steps need to be taken, such as literacy rate should be improved for indigenous groups. Awareness campaigns should be launched to increase the importance of education among the indigenous community. As a fact, the better education will enable them to get a good job and will improve their income level. Also, government should be funding indigenous people to move them to cities and towns. Skills need to be taught, social attitudes need to be altered, and more community efforts need to be made so that literacy, unemployment does not become a condition that is continually passed through generations to commit these offenses. Thank you.